Hello YouTube, welcome back to another video. My name is Lane. For those of you who don't know me, I consider myself a self-care, self-love enthusiast, and I am also a life coach. I am based in the DMV, and today I wanted to talk about, in my super excited voice, I wanted to talk about really pushing beyond a very safe and docile approach to finding ourselves. What we have been taught to do is very surface level. And in a lot of ways, I have, at my own level of understanding, encouraged that soft level of finding yourself, being self-made. There it is. That piece was bothering me. Being self-made, knowing thyself, self-discovery, self-care, self-love, redefining that for you, whatever that looks like. That is a very soft, frou-frou way of going about it. But I think with the current times and how far we've come as a people, as women, as mothers, sometimes it takes a little grit. Sometimes it takes a little time to get down to business. And literally, as the Bible describes, as putting your warrior clothes on and going about it in a very Showtime way. War, attack, battle, being strategic, being more in your mental, looking at everything and dismantling it, looking at everything and, challenging everything. And I guess you could say that's kind of like this masculine energy, working hard and getting at it, getting down to business. But sometimes it takes that to get things done, okay? And I am sharing this with you because now I'm entering in that phase. And in my last video that I posted, I talked about the realization of questioning everything. But then what do you do with all this information that you're learning and that you're, coming into? I feel like, first of all, you take no one's word for it. I also mentioned some of the greats that I have been blessed to discover. And it's a lot of information. It's all at once. And you can't take anyone's personal theory or their own research to be your own truth. I'm not calling these people liars, and I'm not saying that, they can't be trusted or they would deceive you in any way. But you never know someone's motive. You never know someone's own path to understanding. So what you do is when you come in contact, when you learn something new, a new theory, a new idea, a new anything, and that could be at any level. So for me, I'll use myself as an example. I came to the understanding of femininity and it was like a slap in the face. It was like a gush of wind. And I was like, this is a lot of information. What does this mean for me? And I found a lot of content creators, articles, blogs, YouTube channels and Instagram pages that touched on different tips and ideas. What did I do? I went back to some referencing points and did my own research and found what worked for me and created a new way of living based on what I took away from it. Did I adopt everything? No. Did I use everything and take it to heart to be my truth and what I have to do to be successful within my femininity? No. Okay, so now that I've got that in the bag and I've perfected that, it's time to move on to the next thing. Let's use diet, for example. You're doing some reading and, someone says, well, dairy creates mucus in the body. And with the mucus in the body, you can't this, that, and the other. And you say, I didn't know that. Or, what does that mean for me? I didn't think I was lactose intolerant, whatever. You don't just take that person's word for it. You feel your body. You look at how you react after you've had cheese and ice cream and milk or whatever. And then you journal and you food diary that. You talk to your healthcare professional. You look at, the difference between when you don't eat it. Then you look at alternatives. Or you may decide, I don't need to omit dairy in my diet. I need the vitamins and the minerals that come from the dairy that's in my diet. So I'm good. That's not my pain point. But you may discover you need more vegetables. You need more fruits. Is it juicing for you? Is it eating raw for you? We can't all do the same things because everything don't work for everybody. Is there a blueprint? Yes. Should we all agree, or can we all agree that a more holistic way of eating and incorporating less packaged foods, less fast food is much healthier for or overall, absolutely. But I'm not one to deny my children Chick-fil-A here and there. You see what I'm saying? My daughter likes milkshakes. So it's the balance, and it's the taking the information that you receive, doing your own research, finding what works for you, and then curating a life that is a good balance for you. Okay? I can use so many different examples. Pulling away from modern medicine and prescriptions and antibiotics and looking to more holistic means of healing. Now, are you going to start, digging around and have a garden and make your own tonics and tinctures? Maybe not. But would you invest in homeopathic medicine? Would you buy other herbs and remedies from someone else if that's their forte? Maybe a local herbalist, healer, or whatever. Where do you find that balance? Again, you don't have to feel like you have to do everything and be everything to live a life that is just so elevated and conscious to where you get overwhelmed. And I think that's one thing that, kind of cut yourself some slack. Let me use education, for example. We know, well, some of you may know, there's this huge theory behind education system and the way it's set up today not being in the best interest of our children's development. And it is designed to create robots and workers that follow rules instead of free thinking, creativity, blah, 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 blah. Now, is my call an answer to that being a homeschool mom? No. That is not my forte. I don't feel that that is what I need to do. But I was homeschooled because my mother felt like keeping me out of the system was her answer and what she was called to do. Neither path is wrong. What I do is make sure that when my children come home, we unlearn all of that. And the way that they know how they are at home and on the weekends and during the holidays and when they're, when we have these stretches where there is no school, we are who we are, and I instill what I feel is important. And we kind of just, we balance it out that way. But we also talk about entrepreneurship and creativity and traveling and self-exploration and really pushing past some of the things that are hammered in silently to make us more dormant and more of a following. So I say all these examples to give you encouragement that, no one teacher or guru, I use that word very loosely, or educator or someone who's very passionate, who takes a stance of being an authority in one way, should they be your end-all, say-all. You are the one that frees yourself. You are the one that decides how you live, what your life is going to look like, feel like, and what you're going to do. And if any person that you learn from, because it's good to learn, we can't all know everything. I am not a decoder. I am not a metaphysicist. I am not an alchemist. I am not I could go on and on and on. All the things that I have, they're just so beyond me. I'm not an astronomer, I'm not a healer, but respecting someone's niche, respecting someone's craft and their life's work. Yes, it's powerful. Yes, you can get a lot out of it. But any person that is a teacher or that wants to share information, anyone that takes a stance of like, you can't go beyond me to do your own research, to find your answers. You can't go beyond me to create. I am the end all be all. I am the authority, and so it's only through me that you can find the freedom and the answers. That is a very dangerous place to be. Now, whether they're saying that passively or in their actions, don't you sign up to be a doormat in a sense of any one doctrine, if that makes sense. So you can find great inspiration from me, but you shouldn't copy my life. You shouldn't take my word for word advice. You should not think that, my way is the only way. And I am a very small example with my 300 subscribers in the audience that I carry, but I use myself as an example because I have no desire to be a cult follower, have a cult following, assert myself as a preacher, a dominant person with all these tips and tricks and advice. And it's like through me is the only way that, you can find out this information or find inspiration. There's two sides of it. So I would be just to summarize all of that, I would be very leery of someone saying, I am the only authority on this and you can't go beyond me, or they don't give you reference points. They don't give you information. Do your own research. They don't encourage you to be self-taught. And I would be very leery of, if you're so afraid of your own answers, your own truth, that you feel like you need someone to guide you, that you need someone constantly to show you the way, to give you the answers and spoon feed you. We have seen this in development. A child does not stay breastfed. And when they are 6 and 7, it's like there's something wrong with that. That child should have surpassed the need to breastfeed and be connected to the mother like that. That's okay when they're young. And, we see a lot of examples of that, within the word and different passages where it's like, the student has to progress. You can't stay in elementary school. You can't stay in kindergarten. You can't stay eating baby food. You can't stay just riding a bike and walking everywhere. You need to learn how to drive. You need to learn you can't stay in high school. You need to progress to higher education. It don't have to be college, but you need to be doing something. If nothing else, discovering and finding yourself. You know what I mean? So let me add this. In everything that has been kept from us, and I say kept very loosely, but in everything that has been a deterrent, or like, oh, don't do that, you're going to let things in, you're going to open yourself up to things. What that really is saying is that the answers are on the other side. And what is that quote? Life begins on the other side of your comfort zone. And when you start pursuing the things that make you courageous and help you push past difficult moments, you will find an unlocking. In the darkness is a light. In darkness, things are birthed, things are discovered, things are created. Whether on a mental level, that's what meditating is. Silencing, slowing down, closing your eyes and visualizing. In the darkness of your mind. I use pregnancy as a big example of a baby is developed and nurtured in the darkness of a womb. And they are okay in there. Ain't nothing going on in there. But yet when they're born and brought into the light, they have everything they need. So you need to take that time to go within yourself and also look into the things that may make you uncomfortable, make you nervous, make you like, I'm not sure about this, and explore those things to find the answers, because so many things have been hidden from us on so many different levels, from a societal standpoint to a spiritual standpoint to a, knowing who you are, our language, our roots, our heritage, what was the real creation? What was the real story? How did this all come to be? What are the powers that be? What do you have to do with all that? What is your purpose? What is your calling? Where do you fit into all this? It's so much. And because it's so much, we have to allow ourselves to slow down, to find the answers, to find our truths, and to have peace with what we discover for ourselves. What works for me may not work for you, but if it works for you and you are truly fulfilled and you are prospering and you are flourishing, that is all that matters. And so that is the thing where I hope that my channel has also progressed with how I come off and what I talk about. So let's use relationships for example. All right. Within all of this new development, your power within your femininity and your self-care and your self-love is knowing that there are men in the world that will balance you, compliment you, and take care of you, because that is your birthright and that is what you deserve. Not what they show on TV, not the statistics, not the funny memes about ain't no fish in the sea, all this other stuff. You have to know and believe that that is the natural way that this is supposed to be and go, and you still can tap into that. Let's use finances and this thing called money. If you believe that you have every right to all of it and more for what you need to make you happy, to sustain your lifestyle, to make you comfortable, to take care of your children, to take care of your home, and you don't have to subscribe to the constructs of working if you don't want to work, and still have everything you need and want, or at least work from home, goddammit, then that is your truth. And it will come to you within the belief and the rebuilding of, you creating that life. So this is what I'm talking about. And it seems like a lot, but if you just take one thing at a time, love yourself, be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself through this relearning process. Take your time. It's not a race, not a competition, but it's definitely a journey. I'm about to fall out my chair. Then you will begin to unlock and see the fruits of all these things coming together. And it can take years, and that's okay. But I share this other part of it because I want to encourage you to hold out and don't be nervous. And let me tell you another thing about being nervous. This is not a bandwagon party. This is not a potluck. This is not a shindig. This is just for you. So I'm going to be honest and tell you, I did not jump up and tell my cousins and my family, I am walking away from organized religion, or I am challenging all these new things, or challenging all these things that I used to believe to rebuild my life and set myself free. And no. First of all, because it's for me. Second of all, it's a very private and personal journey. Thirdly, I didn't want no pushback, kickback. Are you crazy? What are you talking about? Girl, just keep doing what you've been doing. We, don't know what you're talking about. Don't understand. Don't care. Got our own stuff going on. None of that. This is for you. And if you don't tell somebody when you go to the bathroom and when you have sex, you don't need to tell anybody about your process and your journey. Now, what you can do is when you come on the other side of it and you've got some, you're confident, you're feeling good, and you're glowing, you've got this something different about you. You're living this life, you're so happy, you're so fulfilled, blah, blah, blah. And they ask you, what did you do? What, you look so good. What's going on? You're like, girl,